afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. It's so wonderful to see your beautiful faces today. You guys look lovely. Thank you for showing up for the 2020 graduation, I think. My name is Kuka. I will be your MC for the day. But before we start, our superstar for the day, Diana, is going to open the word of prayer. And then we can get this rolling.
Hi everyone, I am so excited today. This is a beautiful day today, and I'm happy to see all of you. You're looking lovely from this vantage point. You look awesome. So we're going to start by a word of prayer, and I would ask you please to rise up. Lord, we come before you this afternoon. We thank you for this opportunity that you have afforded us today. We've come here for a celebration. Even as we celebrate the life of our former president, Mwai Kibaki, we are also celebrating the people who have graduated from some of the courses that we were offered this last year. And we just want to thank you for the opportunity that you've given us, and even for allowing us to be here, to congregate together, to meet and connect with each other. We thank you. Some of us have met for the first time, so we just want to give you all the glory and honor. We want to pray also for the others who are still coming, Lord. May you order their steps. May they get here in time so that they don't miss out on anything, Lord. Even as we start, we just want to thank you and for just giving us Siddiqui, who is actually the visionary for this organization. And we just want to thank you for the far that you've taken him, and we pray that even in the next 5 years, we're going to even have bigger celebrations because we believe that you're taking him to more successes. We thank you and we honor you, Lord. Even as we start this event, Lord, we just want to ask you to be with us. May your Holy Spirit dwell among us, and it's going to be a successful event. We thank you, we praise you. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Thank you, Diana. So there's a rule for today. The rule is, if you're going to come up front and talk here, you have to get a ticket by answering one of my questions. Diana has gone, but you guys can answer this one for Diana. So if you graduate in a university, what do you get? What's the name of the certificate? You get a degree. Now, I have a pet. I have a dog that I love so much. Now that we are graduating today, what do you think my dog will get? Anybody? A bone? Anybody? It's going to get a pedigree. Let me tell you, this guy, the guy I'm introducing next, I met him 24 years ago when I thought growing old was an option. So I was young. I think I was about 20 years ago. I was young. I was 24. No, I was 21. And I thought growing old was an option. So I used to ask them, how do you guys do it in your 40s? Well, look at us now. But what I know about Siddiqui is that he's I think, one of the most generous people I've ever met. I mean, for you to do this, that time he was doing distance education, using very difficult technology that had only seen, I worked as a journalist, and that time the only person who had the kind of technology Siddiqui was using was Naushad Modali. When we interviewed him, those are the guys who used to use satellites to communicate to people. But over the years, he's never given up on the vision of just helping people learn using distance education. And look at what technology has done now. And that we can reach thousands and even millions, even using the networks that we have here, millions of people in Africa to be able to just learn. And before Siddiqui comes on stage, I want you guys to think. Later, you're going to answer the questions to this question. What is education? I want to hear what your view of education will be, but we'll get that later. But so for now, Bwana Siddiqui, Mr. Headmaster Sam, Principal, please come and address your people.
Thank you so much, Kuka, for these incredible, words, and I'm so honored and so touched. So before I start everything, I really want to, thank Anita for this incredible job. Anita, I met Anita. I teach in Washington two schools. One school I teach, the U.S. Army people. In the other school, I teach some professional. And one of my students from Argentina is a friend of Anita. So Anita came to our school, and her friend is Amalia. Amalia said, "Sidiki, you have to meet this woman from Kenya." And I said, "That's where we had, our organization is." So we started talking. That's how I met Anita. So I want to thank Anita for this incredible, and I want everyone to really, a round of applause for her before I start. After this one, I want to thank Anita, my team, John, Maza, Marcella, and for the incredible job also. Maza is you see all these incredible pictures, he's the man. But today, what I wanted to do, I want to thank each and everyone for coming to this graduation ceremony, and just to give you a brief about DEAfrica. So here I see some older people, our senior graduate here, and Diana is sitting at the back, and some new people like Rose and Esther. And it's really lovely to be here. And to see the big girls sitting in front of me, I've seen them when they were just a baby, and they are big now. But just to give you something about DEAfrica. DEAfrica is a non-profit organization based in Washington, D.C. with an operational office here. We are committed to drastically increase access to quality quality education, affordable, flexible, by giving training to people in Africa. And we would like to upskill to give people the skill they need for their professional development. That's what we've been doing. So we started DEAfrica in 2010. In 2010, I was working with a professor in Washington, D.C., an English teacher. She was using e-books to teach English courses. Then when we started DEAfrica, and I said, this would be great to have Africans learn using e-books. So I started my journey in West Africa from Senegal, Mali, the Gambia, Central Africa, and all the way to Kenya. In the 10 countries I visited, no single country 10 years ago was using e-books to teach English. So I was disappointed in the other countries, but when I came to Kenya, and I said, Kenya is the most advanced country, and I went to KU, and I asked the professors, I said, do you use e-books to teach English? He said, the professor, they told me, no, Sidiki. They showed me a room full of books. And the storage, we went there, and I opened one book. One page was missing. And I said, Professor, let's forget this old-fashioned and move to the 21st century. Because e-books are like normal books. It has table of content, but it's very interactive. And we could train your lecturers at KU how to do it. That's how we started. We begin with English, and then we started offering some short courses in journalism. So we have some journalists from Nation, from different countries. And then we offer courses in cybersecurity. I remember in 2013, there were some Chinese, were arrested in Rwanda, they were doing some illegal things. If you remember, I was here back then, we were offering cybersecurity courses. But the breakthrough came when I went back to Washington and started working with the University of Virginia. That's really where the breakthrough came. They wanted to start the Africa Scholarship Cohort. And so I said, well, we have a network, we'll be able to work with you. And we started the Africa Scholarship Cohort about 7 years ago with only 100 students in 7 countries. So these are the first graduates sitting here. And you remember, you guys suffer a lot, right? You know, so they were telling me, Siddiqui, it's tough. And I said, Peter, you have to finish it. But they managed to finish it. They got their specialization in business strategy. And I believe, if I'm wrong, Peter, this was the first time for online, because you told me, you know, you used to go into face-to-face, but to do virtual learning was, you know, I think you're not the only one. Even Marcellus, your mom was asking you, what are you doing, right, back then? But I'm so proud of those people, because they made us proud, because after we finished the specialization, the completion rate was 72%. So the University of Virginia, they were impressed. You know, they told me, Siddiqui, these people, they are smart. I said, of course they are smart. They want to learn, because, you know, it's free of charge, but they want, you know, the skills. So that's how we continue. So from 100 students in 7 years ago in 7 countries, today I'm proud to say that we have reached students in every single country in Africa. We have over 37,500 students in Africa. And we have reached the unreachable. Thank you so much. So in addition to, you know, reaching every country in Africa, we came up with the idea of, you know, business cases. And I wish to acknowledge the brain child of, you know, when we did our graduation ceremony, Peter said, you know, Siddiqui, it's good, you know, we think, you know, let's think about case studies of African businesses. So, and then, you know, I went back to Washington, I kept thinking, and I said, well, Peter, I think Peter is right. Because, you know, if we could publish a resource, you know, for African businesses, that would be great. And then we started publishing. We published volume 1, volume 2, volume 3, volume 5, as you could see. You know. So these are our famous authors sitting, which, you know, we're gonna honor them today. And that's how it started. So now we are doing a 10-country graduation ceremony. I was in Botswana, and it was really incredible to hear the testimony from the students. So today, I'm honored, you know, to be in Kenya. And one thing, I was just talking to Esther. Someone was saying, "Where are the men?" I said, "Don't worry, forget the men, because Kenya, you guys are top in terms of gender equity, which is really our fight. You know, Dr. Palmer, what she does, she wants women to be on top, and we have reached it. We have done it in Kenya with our courses. The statistics we are offering 4 courses right now. 2 courses, one in project management in French and English, and the other 2 in English. But I look at the statistics. The Kenya, the women, 80%. So Kenya is top, and then below is Botswana, Uganda, and French-speaking countries. Unfortunately, women are not. It's all men. So I want to congratulate all the ladies here, and keep it up. Very honored. Yeah. So that's really to give you a small background about DEAfrica. And today I don't have really much to say, and we want to hear from each one of you, and see how the course are going, and what can we do to improve it, and to hear from you. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Siddiqui, but you didn't pay my ticket, so you have to.
Okay.
Because you're a tall man, how do tall people graduate in their classes? how do tall people graduate in their classes?
Tall here.
You're the tallest in the crowd, man. Anyone try?
And you want to answer?
Top of their class.
Oh.
So, what's your DEAfrica story? What's your DEAfrica story? I know everyone seated here has a story to tell. Now, my DEAfrica story started in 2018. I went for salsa and bumped into Sidiki. And so he told me, oh, I have a scholarship for you. You don't know how important I felt that I have a scholarship. Like, you guys, I'm doing this. He personalized this thing. If he told me it's everyone who's getting a scholarship, I'd be like, Sidiki, this thing doesn't really work for me. But anyway, so he told me, oh, Koka, you start today. And you only have 6 weeks to finish this scholarship. Very important. You know how he talks very passionately. So I I registered and I started doing my design thinking class. Guys, let me tell you, in 2018, I was living in the village with my parents. I was helping them set up business there. And that's when I was planning to come back to Nairobi to start my own business. Then design thinking class. Hey, Madam Zungu spoke. I was so scared. I was like, hey, no. The videos look so real. You feel like that lady is lecturing you. And if you don't do those assignments, you'll be in so much trouble. Never mind, I have ADHD, so I know how to procrastinate. So basically, towards the end of the course, I couldn't finish my assignment. But in 2020, now, when I really needed the course, in September, I was trying to set up a practice for children with learning disabilities. And I sat in that class, but I applied everything I learned every week. That's how I set up my business. It's called Learning Differently. I used my design thinking class. And so I had to join a fellowship later that uses design thinking. That we're calling it the Metis. So I'm like, Metis, I like you guys, but this is design thinking. Have you taken the course? So in fact, I made the guys in the fellowship that was joining to take the next design thinking class. So that's when we graduated together. And really, it works for me for business. I'm still iterating what I'm doing. And I have used business strategy. Now, the business strategy class, I took a shortcut. I was teaching a public relations strategy at JQuat. So I would learn every week, add some PR aspect to it, and take it to class on Wednesdays. It worked for the time I was there. And honestly, if you look at those students, some of the papers they wrote, so that's why I understand your vision of writing, you're telling your story. Some of the papers they wrote at the end of that semester were good enough to take to the corporates, and we pushed some to the corporates that use that. But again, it's DEAfrica. So what's your DEAfrica story? Then one of my favorite DEAfrica stories is going to be told by the ladies coming on stage next after she answers this question. What makes M&Ms want to graduate from college? They want to be smarties. Thank you very much. Esther. Be upstanding. And after Esther, Peter is going to tell us his DEAfrica story.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Esther, and it's really a pleasure to be here. Also, it's a pleasure to put faces to the names I've seen on email. I know we've interacted on email. And I think by the end of the day, I'm going to have 20 more LinkedIn connections. Yeah, probably. So my DEAfrica story started in 2020. I was actually browsing on Facebook, and I'm on this group called African Leading Ladies. So I saw a link and an opportunity to learn. In fact, by the time I saw the link, I think people had already learned. They were like in week 3. And I was excited because all my life post-campus, I've been looking for scholarships. The only deals that come through are those buy one, get one free supermarket deals. You know, it's really hard to get an opportunity for free education in this country. So I was excited. We were at the height of COVID, a lot was happening, and I thought, why not? So this was for the advanced business strategy course. I joined in, the peers, you can see from the charts, everybody was on week 3, and I'm thinking, okay, I work in the aviation industry, so for us it was really hectic then. People are not traveling, there are a lot of inquiries, everybody is skeptical what's going to happen. So in my role, it was a very tough time. But I was determined to just get in and get the knowledge. So I did learn. And once that course was done, it gave me a new perspective of business strategy because I do support the executive team. So every beginning of year, we take a retreat somewhere where you're looking at what the outlook for your business is for the year, tie it up with your 5-year plan, and just take the team through defining what it is that the business is going to do. And that gave me a very good basis. But I wanted more. It didn't stop from there. I'm like Oliver Twist, the greedy child. So I went back to the website and I saw more offers and I signed up. So to cut this story short, because I want all of you to be able to tell your stories, 7 courses later, I'm a different person from where I started from. I did that, I did design thinking, I took a course on leadership, and that has really put me in a place, in addition to what I have done in college, in campus. I'm able to sit today with the CEO of the business and really contribute to the conversation. I'm able to guide the conversation. I'm able to do proper business analysis. I feel comfortable speaking and giving up my ideas because I have a good foundation. And as I stand here today, then I think, what is my role? What can I do? What can I do with this opportunity that I have been given? And I was telling Mr. Siddiqui today that I think DEAfrica has not been put out there in the capacity that it should be. So much has happened. You've touched so many lives. So many people have grown because of you. And I think it's time we start shouting about it more. So my call for action is for all of us sitting here, all of us who have had an opportunity to learn, that we bring more people to the circle, that we talk about these opportunities more, because I know there's going to be more causes. There are more causes going on at the moment. So we then need to speak about it. And if you know someone who knows someone who's willing to sponsor, then that will be a good thing to bring them to the table, because every single person who comes in, I believe they are going to be impactful. When they go back, they're not going to be the same. I'm looking forward to more causes, Mr. Siddiqui. I've not stopped, I guess, and looking forward to perhaps even being able to make a bigger contribution. And I'd like to really thank you, together with Dr. Palmer and the rest of the organizing team. You're doing a fantastic job. And I think you're really contributing to the development of Africa. So keep up the good work. And it's an honor, it's really an honor to have had the opportunity to participate. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you so much for touching on how can you help. Let me give you some numbers so that you know how you can help. How many of us have relatives in the village who can't go to college? Yes, and you're wondering where you're going to get money to get them a job and take them to college, right? One of the graduates from our courses, from the DEAfrica courses, has never been to school. He's in Uganda. I forget the name, but Mr. Siddiqui tells the story well. And he learned how to set up his business in, I think, rabbit rearing through the DEAfrica courses. Now, let me give you the college number so that you know that these courses are not just for the corporates sitting here or the business people sitting here. About 1% of our high school students are taken to university. 1%. Out of that, what is the number of people that get into employment? I will bet you more than half of us are in self-employment. So where do we learn entrepreneur courses? Nobody is asking anyone to show up in class with an A. Am I right, Mr. Siddiqui? You know people out there who will use these courses. And they'll use a little. The bundles are not much. I tried using my phone, and it doesn't take much to get the courses done. Bundle them up and take them to school. It's a certificate that's even better than some of the ones we have from fake colleges. So do not think that the courses are just for the few people that you know. Those kids in the village, those of us who go and reach out to kids in the village who have finished Form 4 and have nothing to do. You won't believe the Matatu touts can take our courses while they are waiting for the next round of guys to come in. So we have no excuses. We are the ambassadors. So that's the challenge. What's the next step? Tell people, rope people in, support people to take their courses. But also, I might challenge you also to support DEAfrica, because we need to get to every corner of this continent. So, Peter, so young man, please come and tell us about your experience.
Well, I will not refuse a compliment being called a young man. Thank you very much, Luca. So, as well, my name's Peter here. And where do I start? Let me just say a little something about Siddiqui. If you didn't know, this guy's a great salsa dancer. And I think there is a great correlation between DEAfrica, us learning, and salsa. So we need to figure, some kind of a narrative around it. Maza designs, DEAfrica. I think that's the next step. But yeah, on a serious note, there's a question that you asked, Luca, that is, what is education? And to me, education is access. Because when you get education, you have access. And anybody who comes to you and offers you an opportunity to get educated is your friend. And that's why I consider CDK a great friend. I think it was about 2015, 2016 when Diana wrote me an email saying, in fact, it sounded, I didn't take it too seriously at first because I said, Diana, what are you talking? Who gives you free education and opportunity? But Diana's my friend, and I said, you know what, I'm going to try this out. And in fact, standing here, I feel it's a bit unfair and wrong for me to just stand without giving her an opportunity to say something, because she's the one who actually brought me to DEAfrica. So Diana, just let me cede some time to you. Just say one or two things, and then I shall continue.
Hi guys. Hi. As Peter has just said, salsa is what brought us together. And Siddiqui, today we have to celebrate you, so we are going to do some sort of radar. I don't know who knows how to dance salsa here. Good. So there are so many ladies. So we will make a circle and we'll be inside and we will do a dance before we close this session today. So I'm one of those people, and in fact, let me just ask this question right now. How many here have come with a friend? Let's see the mini ones. Who are the mini? How many have brought a friend? Who point your friend? Me, I want to see. And this must be friends that who can actually take up these courses. Friends. Good, awesome. So, as she has just mentioned, that we really need to publicize this because it's a great opportunity. Me, if I tell you my story, by the way, you'll see it. Siddiqui, I promise you, it will be the next season, the next edition of the book. I'll be writing about my company and how I was able to get the confidence to start my consultancy firm. From the strategy course. At that particular time, it was like a full course. I think it took us almost 4 months to finish, 3 months. We did like the whole course, and when I was done, and not forgetting that I have a master's in strategy and in a very good university. But immediately after I was done with that course, I got the confidence to start my consultancy. And that's when I registered and I went out there and started just getting clients. And to put the cream on the cake, today I was featured on Nation. So I'm asking all of you guys, Nation, by the way, you guys, you need to pay me. So everyone should go and buy a newspaper so that you can read the article. It's about how you can get more clients in your business if you're a consultant. So I must say, I am a very big beneficiary of the courses that Siddiqui has offered us. And I brought, when I got the opportunity, I was like, who are my friends? And you see, when you want to get up there, you don't want to go up there alone. Because it's a very cold place. We say the higher you go, the cooler it becomes. So I want all my friends who surround me, who, we progress together, I want them to also go up there. So everyone should also think about who are these close friends of mine that I want to grow with. And I invited Selam invited Peter and a whole group of people. And today I have two of my friends. In fact, the reason why I left it was because two of my friends, I keep calling them. I'm like, where are you guys? You've not gotten here yet. We've already started. So that's basically what the charge that I want to give you guys. Please go and talk to your friends. Ask them to register for these courses. And trust me, they will pay you back. Like, they will never stop saying how you really impacted their lives. And that's what we are here for as human beings. Give, give, give. This is a free gift you've been given. Please give it freely. Thank you.
Asante sana Diana. Diana is a real mobilizer. No, she really is. When she's hooked onto something, she'll make sure that she carries her friends, as she's just said. So, in fact, speaking of the statistics, I think it's the youth between 15 to 17 years, about 60% don't have access to education in Africa. That's a huge statistic. So that means that 1% that you were talking about, you can see how it funnels through, and that's why there's a problem. It's good to see you, Bwana Runga. This gentleman was actually in school with me many years ago. It's good to see you, and I really hope that you do take up one of the courses, so well done for bringing him. Yes. He's a great chef. One of the greatest chefs in Kenya, by the way. Yeah? So my experience, it was 2016, and we signed up and we started. I mean, as Siddiqui mentioned, the online concept was very different. So it was more of, how do you keep up every week? You got to sign in and you got these assignments, and then you have to watch that video. She said, these guys, it's like they're talking to you. But it was a fantastic experience. At some point it was difficult, but then, we picked up and we continued. And when we got to the finish line, the reward was great. I'm a serial entrepreneur. My background is indeed in strategy, and we specialized in strategic communications. So we help build organizations, new entities that come into the country. Yeah, we help build them. And the learnings that I got from this online program were great. I had done my MBA some years before that in strategic management, but indeed this was an excellent addition, and I highly, highly recommend it. So, to the authors, because Siddiqui said, for me, when I did my studies, both undergrad and graduate school, and we're doing case studies, all the stories were all about, companies in the US. Yeah? I think that entrepreneurs here in Kenya and in Africa can benefit from the story of a Mama Mboga. How did she build her business to take 3 or 4 or 5 of her children to school, to a point where they actually graduate from high school, and they hustle and ensure that they get to a university. To me, that's the African story, but we're not replicating it, so we cannot model on anybody. And that's why I told Siddiqui, we've got to really get, our stories. What are the African stories? And I congratulate all of you for getting on with it and actually writing some of the case studies. I still owe you case studies, Siddiqui. I promise to get around to it.
You and Diana.
Exactly.
You guys will be some.
Yeah, we finally will. So, thank you, so much for this opportunity, honoring us once again. We were with you, I think, in 2016. We're always glad to come back. I'm going to take your words, Kuka and Diana, seriously. Let's create that multiplier effect and ensure that many more people get to know about DEAfrica and begin to benefit just as we have. So, asante sana.
Yes, of course.
Yes, let's hear your DEAfrica stories, so that even us guys get the courage to tell our stories.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. My name is Anne Kyogo. I run a management, training, research, and consultancy firm. In 2016 is when I got to interact with DEAfrica, and I registered for my first course, and I remember John pushing us to really do the classes. And I couldn't catch up And particularly when it came to the peer evaluation, those case studies, I thought this was an American thing because I could not relate. Until we got this particular assignment in growth strategy, and I had to get an organization in Kenya to be able to relate to what I was getting. So what I would do is to download the materials and have them on Word documents. I could not get some of those Jimbo's language, their way of saying things. And I really struggled. And so after a week, everybody was done. There was a lot of congratulatory messages in the WhatsApp group, and I was thinking, wait a minute, when do you even complete the session? So I was left by the design thinking, the project management, and I really kept praying that they bring it again. And this time I said, I've got to prove a point, I'm doing this again. But the excitement of getting the certificate is what now gave me a lot of excitement. All of a sudden I became a night runner. I would sit in the night, study and study and study. And especially in the consultancy world, one thing that is very key, you cannot be theoretical because of the dynamic needs and changes in the marketplace for you to remain relevant, have a competitive edge and sustainability. And so what I did is to be able to incorporate this with my team, and Diana, we've been together in USIU before. And every time I took my, we used to call them the midterm exams and the end sem exams, I'm this kind of student that would come in at 5:45. I don't even know where the exam room is because I'm so worked up during my report writing, proposals. When I'm about to step out of the office, somebody calls me and says, I want this report by this time. And I say, I have to get away with my exams. And so this particular time I walk into this HR class, and I find people halfway gone into the exam. And my lecturer says, are you going to pull through this? I said, let me see the paper first. I saw stars, I saw darkness, I saw everything. And people were busy writing, asking for more extra booklets. And I was thinking, what are you people writing? So I raised my hand towards the lecturer and I requested him, that was not a guy. And I said, sir, would you allow me to approach this exam from a practical point of view? And he tells me, Anne, proceed. I'm not marking answers, I'm marking application. And what a relief it was for me for the next 45 minutes. And when the booklets came back, and the one was scored 89%, and the second person after me was at 30%. And so the lecturer asked me in the next class, Anne, how do you approach your exams? So what I would do is anytime you ask the question, I will not talk about the functions of HR. I'll give an example about the functions of HR and write a story that I can relate to in my consultancy world. And so the aspect of cramming doesn't apply for me. Fast forward, and especially because I'm a tenderpreneur, you've got to do a lot of bidding, write proposals. And I'll say this confidently, I'm very good at proposal writing. And if you're going to bid as a consultancy firm, they will tell you if Anne is there, I'm not very sure you're going to be second or third because I'll take the first place. But what gives me this courage? But again, when it comes to the education and the reality of circumstances in organizations, there's such a big gap. I'm sorry to say this, and particularly in Africa, in Kenya, there's such a big gap. So the first evaluation criteria is you must have a PhD in some funny courses, and I'm thinking, God, I have about 12 more years to think about this. You need a master's in this, you need a degree in this. And so I would engage so many PhD holders, sit with them and tell them, I have a terms of reference, 95 pages. We need to interpret this within 5 working days, submit the tender and go for the evaluation criteria. So we get into this organization and we had gotten to the last stage of evaluation and they told us, come with your team and let us discuss in the boardroom, how are you going to approach this assignment? but allow me to mention the name of the organization without fear. That was National Social Security Fund. And I sat in this boardroom and everybody is there writing. And I'm thinking, who is your lead consultant? So I referred to this particular person, I won't mention names. And they are asked, tell us about research, tell us how you're going to approach this, how is the scope, what are the dynamics. And you know, when you're the owner of the company and you have people who are more learned than you get to sit back and thinking, I'm good to go. And they all went blank. And I sat there and one of the guys wrote a text and said, and what kind of an embarrassment is this? Because people with PhDs really are well recognized, and I have no agenda to demean any level of academic. And I asked them, could you give me 2-3 minutes to redeem this? Because I've done all of the proposal, and I said yes. They said yes. I spoke for about 40 minutes and they said, you can do it, but kindly pass through the procurement office and pick your letter. After I picked the letter, I almost, I was very sure I got the job. Shock on me, it was a regret. And I went back home and I told myself, I've got to restructure. I've got to redesign my way of doing things. I've got to do better than this. Then now, how do I approach it? Then I remembered my peer reviews that were very, especially students from the Indian, they talk so high tech. And I was thinking, what are you guys talking about? I just can't relate to what you're talking about. And fast forward, a year later, I started preparing for the next bid for the same organization, working on the proposal. And this time I said, I am the lead consultant. I didn't have a master's then. I was actually completing my undergraduate. So I wrote that I have a degree in international business management option. But they told me, this time we're not going to look at the academy, we're going to look at how well can you demonstrate your capability. And I walked in there and someone told me, from the way you speak, I thought you were a 50-year-old. I said, I'm not a 50-year-old, but this is how we're going to demonstrate this assignment, the objectives, linking the specific objectives to the TOR, how we're going to bring in the strategic interventions and how it's going to be applied. Went ahead to give an implementation matrix, and everybody was looking at me like, where did you learn from? And I asked, where is your school, or where have you been schooling? Very quickly, United States of International University. I want to associate with a good brand. Then I talked about the University of West Virginia. I could not even pronounce the darn something up to today. And then, yes, and I told them about the design thinking class. Of course, I wouldn't tell them it's a certificate course online. I mean, you hype it. You've got to hype your brand. You've got to evangelize your brand. And so they said, oh, really? Yes. And I spoke about it, and as late as yesterday, I'm able to sit in board meetings and go to the National Treasury, and the PSs will be asking, how should we approach this? And sometimes I have to go home and pinch myself hard and think, you've got to love yourself, you've got to believe in yourself because other people do. But what gives you an upper hand? It is information. Why? The strength of the oppressor is in the ignorance of the oppressed. What you don't know will kill you. And what you know will give you an upper hand in the marketplace. And I have seen other consortium firms coming back to me and saying, this is a male-dominated area, and I'm glad that we are breaking the ceilings, that we have more ladies in the consultancy world. And I cannot overemphasize the learning lessons that I've been able to pick from this class. And one time I was in the United States and I walked into this university and I was very proud. You know, it's one thing to be here doing this online course, and it is another thing to get there and say, I want to see this university. And I was proud to be associated. So what I did is I went back and revamped my CV. You should have listed those courses. You'd think I'm the hour of the school. You know, I take a lot of confidence into it. And I've gotten an opportunity to also mentor other people, and particularly the ladies. And when I saw this coming up in the Africa Leading Ladies, I was very proud. And I'm glad we've been able to send this out. And we can do it better. And we can make an impact, change lives, network and connect. And together we change our economy. Thank you.
Rose, I'll ask you a question so that you can, I give you a stamp to come to the front. She shared for long, so I was a bit empathetic. So there's this new aviation course. Why isn't it getting enough students? Isn't this new aviation course, why isn't it getting enough students? Anybody? Yes, people didn't know when it took off. Oh, sure. You're lying. Please come to the front.
Arizenyo? Sidiki, do you know some Swahili? Kidogo? Minute or? Oh, Masana, good job. Okay. So my name is Rose. My background is in motor industry. I've been there since 2014. But my passion started way back in campus. First of all, if you went to a public university in Kenya, probably you went there by job, right? And they chose that course for you. So you're just transitioning. You're like, the whole village is looking up to you. You have to graduate. When you graduate, the whole bus comes, drums, they come with firewood to cook, whatever. So that was me. I transitioned through that. It was a course in forestry. I was like, what am I doing in forestry? I don't like research in trees. Okay, I know environment is really good, but that was not my passion. But in campus, my passion was in coding. So I did a lot of Java, C++, I did Python, I did HTML. That was being throughout campus. And then on graduating, I was like, wait a minute, I'm still morphing. So business is my new passion. And that's when I joined the motor industry. So I've been there for a while. And motor industry is cutthroat. It's advancing. Every year there's a new car, there's a new model, there's a new specs. Like, it's never constant. Same way with the programming that I did back in campus. So with that, I was like, since I'm in motor industry, how do I do better? Because again, with motor industry, kuna wazae mko, they'll tell you, oh, Joey, let us teach you how things are done. And they do it in the 90s way. And clearly, we're in the 21st century, right? So you're like, we're the millennials. And we also have something to share in that boardroom. And the mindset can be the same. We're coming with a different mode of thinking. So, back in that campus story, the way lectures were being administered, universities, one lecture, you have 400 students. One lecture. There's no PA system. It's just some lecture, board one comes, writes notes, photocopy. At the end of the semester, exams have to be done and you have to pass. And that really was a bother to me. So I bumped into this online course, DEA. And I did a specialization in business strategy and implementation. And the mode of administering lectures was really good. Majority of us have photographic memories. You have to write down notes. You have to reread. So with that, you find there's a video running besides it the same notes, right? So you tend to grasp the concept faster compared to our school system. And I can say that I think it's the whole of Africa. Our school system, clearly the dispensing of information is really wanting. So, but with DEA, the courses were really designed. You pick up the concepts very fast. You don't spend a whole day on one video, clearly. 1 hour was enough, and you could grasp a lot. By the time, I think majority of us we cleared that course even way before the schedule, right? Yes, because it was really slim and straight to the point. So I will say that is a really good course, Mr. Sedeke. I hope God to keep you alive to do a lot for the coming generation. I know time is not on our side. We don't know when our next day is out of this world, but each day counts. And we're here to support you. I think we'll do better in terms of publicizing DEA. We'll reach out to more people. You know, so long as you just understand grammar, that's it. The only expense we incur is our time, and it's not even 24 hours. Just a portion of it. And you grasp whatever you want. You learn how much you want. And it's not one course, there are a lot. You just have to be really aggressive in learning. That's all. And it's free. We know as Kenyans, we're not used to free things. The system, our culture doesn't allow that. So, yes. So when you really find that, please take it and run with it. And, you know, to me, I think education is culture. You can learn from anything, anywhere, from anybody. From a kindergarten child, from a 100-year-old grandpa, you can learn anything. It's just a matter of being open-minded. And I think with that, let us do better in evangelizing DA so that we can reach out to more people. I've also seen on the platform, there are courses where you can pay for it, right?
Yeah.
If you can, please go ahead. We're supporting the whole DA. With that, I think more courses are designed and we get a better experience out of that, right? So thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. So how many of us have smartphones? We are still using a kabambe, please. So I want us to pick up our phones as we go for the next activity. I think some of you came here quite early. So I think we're going to take a tea break. But while you're at it, look for your friends, make new friends, take selfies, and let's post on the group and make noise about this graduation. Okay? It's time for a break. So what's your story? Tell it. Your story is compelling, it's yours, and it will change another person's life. So today we want to recognize those authors. Some of us have been published already, and we want, you guys are loud, made all the noise today. Let me hear your voices, kidogo. Let me hear your voices.
Thank you for everyone for coming. We're grateful to get this award, this to be honored this day, because it's not easy to finish all these courses. most of us know of the courses whereby you find there is a peer review. You know what peer review does to our courses when you are doing it. So you have to time yourself and make sure you present your assignments on time so that you can be able to get the award on time also. So I prefer doing my courses 1 week prior time. So you finish, the earlier you finish the assignment of that week, the better. It will give you time to get to the next week without any strain. So I challenge everyone, you take your courses early in advance, maybe the first 3 days of the week, you finish up so that by the time that week ends, you get to the next week. So that will help you catch up with time and deliver your assignments on time. Thank you.
So I want to thank each and everyone for coming and all the people who helped to make this successful. I think I already thank Anita, of course, and the rest of the group. But I am so touched by the word I heard from each one today, and the fact that we're able to build this community in Kenya to help our brothers and sisters. This is a very touching moment for me, and I'm sure we're going to send the pictures to Dr. Palmer at the University of Virginia, and she is actually now on vacation in Hawaii, so she sends greetings to everyone. Hopefully next year, I'm trying to do everything to bring her maybe next year, if it's possible. But so. For me, thank you to each and everyone. Let's keep it up. Let's have this big, vibrant WhatsApp community. Let's inform other people, and let's continue changing lives of people. So thank you so much. God bless you, and I'll see you online. You have my emails, my phone number. Reach out to me if you have any question or concern. Next week, I'll be in Uganda, and as you can see, also going to Uganda, having students even from the refugee camp coming to our graduation ceremony. We've never had that before. I know that our courses are reached every corners, but so I'm looking forward to going to Uganda. But I'm still here till the end of June. So let's keep it up, and God bless you, and long live to the Kenya group. And one last thing, women equity, you guys are on top. Keep up, continue, please. Show the way to the rest of Africa. Thank you.
So today we are here, we are all graduates. My name is Salam. I'm here with my friend Joanne. Say hi, Joanne. Peter.
Hi.
And Anne. Yeah, so these are some of the graduates. Others are going to come and talk to us about what we have been doing. So somewhere 2017 there, I came across this online learning. It's called it's under the University of Virginia, but with DEAfrica. And my friend Diana, who is supposed to be here, she's over there. Diana, come and join us. Told me, Salam, do you want to do an online course in strategy? And I was like, yeah, sure, why not? And we signed up for it. And since 2017, I've been doing a few courses in there. It's been challenging because I have to juggle between work, my kids, education, and all those kind of things. But I do it in the middle of the night. And the reason why I do it is because I believe that the more I learn, the more I make others, equipped. So I meet all sorts of people in business, all sorts of young women who come and ask me, how do I improve my business? What do I do? And I tell them, you know what? You have to study. So that's what I've been doing, equipping myself so that I can equip others. So with me, I have Siddiqui here, who is the founder of DEAfrica. He's the online guy who brought online learning to us. And Diana is the one who introduced me to online learning. She's my destiny helper. I always tell her, because she always calls me, Salam, we're doing this, come. So we've been doing this, and I just want to ask them a few random questions here and there, just to tell you, yes, you can study online, yes, it's free, yes, you can get certified with very good quality education, right?
Yep.
So I'll start with Peter. How has your experience been? What have you gained from this online learning?
Okay, as I had mentioned earlier, education is access. And the more knowledge that you gain, you get greater access to knowledge first and foremost, and of course the relationships that you build within the education setup, class, etc. You're able to exchange knowledge, with friends, etc. So for me, apart from the actual hard knowledge when I did my strategy course, being an entrepreneur, you obviously gain from building networks, which for me is a big thing. And this gentleman here has given us an opportunity, and for everybody who's watching, the opportunities are still there to learn, and to learn under a scholarship. That's a good friend.
Yes, scholarship.
Exactly. If somebody is giving you, I always say two things: education and health for free. Those are true friends.
Yes.
So thank you very much.
Yes, Sticky is our BFF. All right, Anne, how has your experience been? Just tell us something. Is this online learning real? Is it true? Some people, I tell them I give free scholarships, and they go like, really? Are you sure? So is it true?
Well, it is true.
Yeah.
And because I've been a beneficiary of this program, like Peter said, once you get an opportunity for education and health, plunge into it.
Yes.
Because success is when opportunity meets preparation.
Good. Can you tell us what you do, Anne?
I'm an implementation, research, and consultant in training, and in the public sector and also in the private sector. I run a consortium firm.
All right.
Image Horizon.
All right. Peter, I didn't ask you what you do. You can tell my friends what you do.
Okay. Well, I said I'm a serial entrepreneur.
Okay.
However, strategic communications is what I do. So we consult for new businesses coming into the country and emerging businesses as well, trying to find their footing in the realm of communications.
Awesome, awesome. And then on this side, I have my very good friend Joanne. I drag her along everywhere. I tell her you must rise. She's one of my key success stories. So Joanne, tell us what you do. Who are you? And how has online learning been for you with DEAfrica?
Oh, thank you, Salam. Yes, I got into DEAfrica through Salam. So I believed in Salam. So when she told me about it, I was like, let me give it a trial. And I'm a financial consultant. I help businesses achieve financial wellness and help them to access finance. So what have I learned from DEAfrica? I've learned how the world is, where the world is moving to. Sometimes when I look at the course and I listen to it and I study, I feel like I know what is happening around the world, and that has really helped me just to place myself and my company where the world is moving to. And I really do appreciate. It's a lot of hard work to finish the courses and finish them on time. You have to burn the midnight oil. Many times I've burned the midnight oil and the morning oil, and I'm truly grateful for all the hard work. And thank you, Siddiqui, for just being there for us when we admitted to SMSing and asking you, why isn't this thing going through? And yes, so thank you very much. I mean, I'd ask everybody who is able to use a smartphone, your internet, make good use of it by learning and by improving yourself and by just knowing where the world is, by being learned through DEAfrica.
Thank
And
you,
it's for
Joanna.
free.
Thank you, for free.
Yes.
Just tell them which one caused an impact for you to start your business.
Design thinking
Design thinking.
and fundamentals of project management. I enjoyed that the most.
Yeah, we have amazing courses lined
Yes.
up, and the experience is out of this world. I've done other online lessons, but this one's quality education. My friend here,
Yeah.
Kuka,
What's up?
yeah, we've been in school together. I like you, I like the energy.
I don't know whether they're laughing with me or at me. Or at me. I don't know. I'm not quite sure, but anyway.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just tell us, what has your experience been like?
Awesome. I called Siddiqui when I was panicking about how I should start my business. They're like, don't ask me, take a course. and
Did you hear that? Don't ask.
Don't ask.
Go
take a
and
course.
get educated.
So I took design thinking.
Yeah.
I did the fundamentals of the. Okay.
Oh.
Even I jumped out of online, but
Just.
what's up? Okay, right. At least they didn't catch you laughing at me.
It's okay. You're laughing.
Sorry, yeah.
All right. So So how did I start this course?
Roger. Give us a thumbs up.
That's my nephew, so I can bully him. Yeah.
Hey, so guys, we had to do a second round of this because something happened. But you know what? Kuka is gonna continue her story.
They were rigging me out.
Yes. Tell them about
Reggae has to go on. So what was I saying?
quality.
How did I get into DEAfrica
Yeah,
and online learning? I asked Siddiqui I was asking Siddiqui for advice on how to start my own online edtech business. And he's like, don't ask me, go to class. So I took design thinking and the first course for strategic business strategy, and I did the advanced business strategy classes. And you won't believe it, all the information I needed to set up and have I'm not good at math, so I didn't take the accounts class. So yeah, but I delegated. But really, all the other information that I needed to run the business, yes, I delegated the genius to other people. So, but all the other skills that I needed to start my business I got them from DEAfrica and the courses we take on Coursera. So I'm really grateful. There are some like project management. We are getting there, but we'll take the courses. But they are amazing, the quality. And maybe let me say one thing about the courses and how they are delivered. Yeah. They use a method of teaching. I'm an educator called micro-learning. Yes. Now what micro-learning does is all of us, because of mobile phones, your concentration span has gone down to 15 minutes. Yes. So If you watch any video, it's about 12 to 13, 7 minutes. Now, when you get information like that, it boosts up your attention again. So you'll find that you can sit down, and once one video is over, you take a breather, go to the loo, come back and take the course. So you'll find that instead of you can do a week's worth of work in just one sitting. So that's amazing way of teaching, and it works even for young kids, and it's what's gonna be for adults. Now that's the way forward. That's what education should look like moving forward.
So
3-hour lectures. 3-hour lectures. Don't work
Don't work
no more. And the storytelling. The last one is the storytelling. You know, when you talk about case studies, Africans we like Mushene. You know, we like stories. And when you see real examples, and then like, oh my goodness, I went through that problem, and you walk out of that problem using the skills you've learned, it's amazing. So yeah, that's why I'm on.
All right. Thank you so much. Diana, the lady who introduced me to online learning, she's my destiny helper. I call her my friend, my sister, big sister, everything, Diana has a company called Evolve Global. She's a business consultant. She helps small businesses grow and thrive. What else, Diana? How has this helped you in your business? Has online learning helped you? What are some of the things you want to tell people out there?
Wow, thank you so much, Selam. I'm just thinking about even the first time when I started my business. It wasn't because I felt so confident, but immediately I did the course. I actually did 5 courses at once. I think it took me like 3 months to do the courses when I was introduced by Sidiki. It was on business strategy, and it was so much in line with what I had studied in college. So after doing the course, I actually grasped the concept of how to become a consultant, because I realized, yes, I went, did my degree, but I didn't really get the knowledge of how to now start my business as a consultant. And that is one of the things that I really, really learned from the program. And everyone has talked so much, and I'm sure everyone right here is like, okay, so now how do I get in? Is there a cost? Let me just tell you right now, I'm sure Selam will put the links on this
the new
video.
Courses,
There are courses coming up, and they are totally free. You don't need to pay anything. And after you've benefited, you can still go back on the website. There are more courses which are now paid for, but you can benefit from the free courses. And I can tell you for a fact, me, I've really benefited. And what I tell people, don't just benefit alone. Go out there, pick your friends, introduce them to these courses. Don't benefit alone. We want Africa to be, to be on another level, to be taken to another level. So please introduce your friends after you've benefited from one course. Introduce all the people in your organization, and I'm sure we're going places.
I like what you said, Diana. Introduce all the people in your organization. I had to take my employees through this study. And talking about that, we are going to be in Addis Ababa on the 21st for a graduation ceremony. We have another cohort that's graduating there, and I'll be there. We're excited because this is my hometown, and we want more people to get educated. I mean, education is what will help us grow as Africa. So those who follow me and are in Addis, I'll hope to see you there. Come for our graduation ceremony to learn more about online learning. And I have John. John, you want to say hi? Yes. John is one of our top students in online learning. He has all the certificates. Sidiki, don't go away. I need you back, like right now. So John, how do you do this? Because you have work, you have all these things that you need to do. First of all, tell us what you do, and then tell us how do you do it? Because many people start online study and then they quit. So how do you do this, John?
Well, first of all, I can say thanks to Sidiki. Sidiki has made me hardcore in these courses up to this level. What encouraged me to do all these courses is, first of all, we started with University of Maryland, where he gave me a scholarship for a course by mobile forensics. And me being in the department and in an organization whereby we supply and deliver and fit security equipment for every other department in this country. So I felt I need more forensics, more of training in the field I am, different courses, different texts from the different universities we have been given. So the first course which gave me the morale was mobile forensics. I can remember
Mobile forensics.
Yeah,
Okay.
Dr. Shumba, who was training us through the blackboard. I remember we had a very thorough and organized course dispensation. It really gave me the courage to go and do more. So when I finished, Sidiki could tell me, John, here's another course, and I could just look at it and give it a try. So I get used, it became a system in me.
Yeah.
So right now, where I am now, I can say so much thank you to Sidiki, because everywhere I've gone, I've learned so much, and I'm able to see every other organization, every other company, how they run their show, how they do their things. If you ask me, and you ask people like Diana, who is a consultant, 90% of companies in Kenya, they don't have a business model.
Wow.
Nothing. You tell somebody, you are giving me this framework or contract to work with you on a certain procurement or a certain contract for supply and feed or stuff. You ask them, what business model you have? The business model will guide you to know the revenues, these companies, how they create their revenue, how they make their money, what services they offer, who are the key people involved, what are the hiccups in the company. So 90% of people here in Kenya, of the companies which were launched or were introduced to the market a long time ago, they don't have a model.
So they
Let's call it the way it's supposed to be called. They don't have a model. You ask them a model, they don't have. So one of the courses last year I did for business models and
that was business model
strategy.
canvas.
Yes, canvas.
Yeah.
It helped me understand and see, oh, I need a model to help me understand what are my source of revenues,
Yes.
what am I doing where I am, what kind of services or products am I selling. So it really gave me a challenge, and I came up with my own business model. For the services I offer, I do radio communication equipment, that's for the security departments. So it also helped me look for clients apart from the government itself. I got people who are requested me for the service. So I normally share with them my business model. So they are able to see, John can offer this service, John can do mobile forensics, John can do all this. So it has really helped me understand the business world better than before.
Wow. Thank you so much, John. You are a role model in online learning with DEAfrica, and I appreciate your support. He really supports us. And then on this side, I have the founder. Guys, this is the first time I'm doing this, so be nice to me. Put your comments, likes later on, whatever time you get. But this is Sidiki. He's the founder of DEAfrica. He's the one who's given an opportunity to the entire continent of Africa. And I being a beneficiary, and some of the friends that you saw a few minutes ago. So Sidiki, thank you so much. I want to take this opportunity to say thank you so much and to show people that really one person can change a continent via education. And that's what Sidiki did. He got the opportunity and looked for it for us from the US and from other countries. And his desire is to see Africans educated. So Sidiki, I just want to say thank you live in front of everyone. But I also wanted to tell people we're coming to Addis, right? We're going to Addis.
Yes.
Yes, we're going to Ethiopia to have a graduation ceremony for a group of people that did this online course, and we are excited about it. Sidiki, you want to say something? Just something brief.
Okay, well, Salam, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to, talk on your platform. DEAfrica is a non-profit organization based in the US, and with an operation office in Nairobi.
Continue.
So one of the our mission is really to contribute, dramatically to access of, quality, demand-driven, flexible, affordable, and training by skilling, upskilling, and reskilling, population of Africa, to help them create a lasting impact, economic impact, and also to create gender equity. So we started very small. In the Africa Scholarship Cohort started very small. Like we started about 7 years ago with 100 students in 7 countries. Today, we have reached the entire continent. We have offered 37,000 in the 54 countries. So there is no single country in Africa where DEAfrica doesn't have a student. So we have a footprint everywhere in Africa. And the good news is, we are doing this graduation ceremony in almost all parts of Africa except Northern Africa. So we did a graduation ceremony in Botswana last week. Now we're here in East Africa. Next week I'm going to Uganda and then Rwanda. So we do Southern Africa, Eastern Africa, Central Africa, and then I end up with, West Africa. So it's been an incredible journey. And today, I must say, I'm so touched by the people in Kenya, especially the women in Kenya. I was saying that they have shown the way in Africa, because 80% of students is 80% women in Kenya. So, and I'm hoping that other countries will follow Kenya. So thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you so much, CBK. We are so grateful.
Thank you.